It's my huge pleasure to welcome a gentleman who is a coaching entrepreneur and investor. I have quite a few questions here for you, but you first.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's dive straight in because I know the audience will be keen to hear your experience. And I actually want to go straight into your websites because a lot of entrepreneurs feel they need a website, and you've got three. So, can I start with that question? Why three? And then we'll go into a little bit more about what you've got on the websites and how you've done it. I would add that I love your websites, gabrieltopman.com, because it feels like there's a conversation going on with a visitor, which I feel is very rare. But enough from me. Tell us about the websites and why three.
So which one should I start with? The management brand, Gabriel Topman.
Sounds good.
In 2006, Gabriel Topman was born to differentiate me, position me, and it's more consultancy brand. At that time, I always built on my strength anyway, since deciding I was going to be very productive adult in 1998. So, but by 2006, I felt a bit more ready with first class business degree in e-business planning. And it just happened that I needed a brand. So I felt the need for the brand, and that brand exists because of that. What's the purpose of a personal brand website? The purpose of a personal brand website, it's related to strategic positioning. Okay. So when it comes to strategic positioning, there's something called differentiation focus, and that could be broad and that could be focused. So a brand that is as unique as Gabriel Topman is a focused differentiation strategy. Okay. Now, with that in mind, that opens up the conversation about the other websites. So, business growth action is an alignment strategy. A lot of people don't necessarily understand strategy. They don't understand strategic positioning and all this. They only understand alignment. Now, it's all well and good knowing what I'm doing. But if other people don't, then I'm isolated for no reason. So we invented business growth action as a strategic solution that broadens that focus so that we, other people, can have the spotlight. Consequently, I've been able to recruit other legends to come and work with us. And indirectly, I spot them, I help them a lot, and I let them have the spotlight because they deserve it and they are focused on their topic. So accommodating other people doesn't necessarily mean dominating them. It's just a platform that allows other people to shine, and then one can support them.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm just sorry to interrupt you there, but I noticed that you very much the team is a group of consummate professionals from what I can see, and that comes over on their website that these are people who can help out and have your endorsement. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, one of them is a professor. He's got so many letters, academic
Mhm.
qualifications in front of his name. The other lady, she works in the academic space as well. And she was a teacher in a college. So one is teaching at university, one is teaching at college. She's more HR, and she has PLC clients who have her on retainer. But they're quite legends. Len is a millionaire, achieved this million, had this £1 million exits, and it helps a lot of other people. So all these legends, they deserve their own spotlight. I would be doing myself injustice if I didn't provide a platform that serves them.
I noticed you have a multilinguist as well. Is that the lady you're
Yes,
referring to? Because languages are key to so many business ventures these days. The whole world doesn't speak English.
absolutely. And that multilinguist worked closely with the business improvement districts in London, all of them. And she was the brand ambassador for pretty much the company that represented all of them without, it's like when you think of Business Improvement District London and you so much as look up their work, chances are you would have seen their face or at some point. So
Amazing. And these are people you're all working closely with, which is awesome. So just want to circle back because you said brand, and there's always the discussions about brand. Some people say don't worry about a personal brand, and there's various interpretations of that. But I think the bottom line is what we're saying is we need to be clear who we are and what we represent. But that said, how much time and effort should people focus on creating a brand, the logo, and those sort of things that are associated with branding?
I'll tell you, making my brand stand out as a consultancy is one of the hardest thing I've ever done as a marketer. I'm telling you. First of all, if you get too caught up on money, for example, and or one product, the brand gets it sticks. And if one get caught up on their number one strength, it sticks. One has to find the perfect alignment that they need that brand to serve. Otherwise, the brand could literally be linked to whatever you end up creating. So the depth is really in understanding it. I'm telling you, it's whatever you're saying there. Oh, that's like,
Gabriel's referring to his backdrop if you're listening in. He's put a
oh,
backdrop on the, which you'll see on the YouTube version of what we're doing here today. And you've got a lot of information. But Gabriel, what sticks out to me is your very simple logo, GT, first name, surname. That's instantly recognizable when people know you, isn't it?
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I want that name to be remembered
Mm.
for transformation management without saying the word. Literally, transformation. When people think we need real transformation, I want them to think about me. I also want them to think about me when they think core advantage. They need to feel like Gabriel, top man,
Gabriel's man
is
to go to.
our core advantage.
Mm.
And my job satisfaction comes from being their top man. So it's not just a name. I live my name, I live my purpose.
You certainly do, sir. You certainly do. So just circle back, tell us a little bit more about what you said, advantages, because
Core advantage. What
mm,
is a core advantage?
mm,
Right? Core advantage is it's like needing to get something done and feeling disempowered by reality check, which every reasonable person should do a reality check on the challenge and make sure they can be effective, they can get it done, get things done. With someone with plenty of industry experience, I understand that an advantage can be the people around you. Yeah, so it's more checking your strength, weaknesses, and getting someone to fill in the gap, and you now know that you're ready. It's not always somebody, it might just be a tool of the trade you needed that you're good at using. It's just core advantage is something that
yeah,
you know when you're ready.
makes sense. And I don't know about you, but I feel a lot of people, because they have skills advantages, let's put whatever term people want to understand, they don't realize that they've got this. And it's only an outsider looking in, someone like yourself, perhaps, who could say, did you realize this is where your advantage, where your industry strategy can lie because of your skills? Do you find that people don't really realize, or am I imagining that?
Absolutely. Oh, I've been having some of the biggest challenges I've faced is seeing people's strength and they don't see it in themselves. And they're the one that told me what they have. I just saw how they can effectively leverage it for a life transformation. And those who have come to me for help, they like they do it, they do so well. But
Yeah,
the ones that didn't ask and I just picked up on it and I just offer them, they just go. things in us we don't even see in ourselves. And I'm
Yeah,
like, is that a bad thing? It's like they don't know. They just thinking, what kind of man is this?
yeah.
Like,
The overview, isn't it? The outsider looking in with your skill. And on that note, I wanted to, because what intrigued me and what I was so delighted to see, a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to go to business school to do X, Y, and Z. Of course, information background always helps. No one should say otherwise. But you're looking at traditional business models, which I also look at. And why is the whole world not talking about these traditional business models, which are such a good baseline? So I'm going to ask you, what's your, I mean, I sort of know the answer because it's on your website, but for our guests, what is a business model that you would recommend? You know, that checklist. We're talking about the SWOTs, aren't we? And the four P's, seven P's of industry. Tell us
yes.
tell us about the
I would say everything depends on the timing. Timing, where you are. One of the key things for people to always do, I've always done, is just check, do a gap. Let's call it simple gap analysis. Like just do a reality check of where I want to be or where I need to be right now. And then the right models come. Now, without the education, one doesn't know, to be fair. And there's lots of books. They make more sense when someone has a background, a solid foundation in business. But degree is not all it is. It takes passion and appreciation for what's been learned, the quality of university, what they teach, what it takes to get first class there. But ultimately, it helps when one knows, for example, what which information is relevant right now.
yeah,
For example, me in 2006, differentiation made sense more than I realized, and it worked for me. SEO was easier then. There are industries, there are clients I have who's built a good life, a successful life off the back of no differentiation whatsoever.
interesting.
So with the education, one can go into a building or literally when I buy from Sports Direct, for example,
Yeah,
and I buy from PC World, it's like at some point something happens and I connect the dot super fast. And things not taught in universities, not written. It's like no one's telling me how they did it. I can see what they're doing, and it's not even in uni. It's just I understand strategy
yeah.
and beyond what university had to offer. So people can have the talent of seeing without going to uni. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
Um,
sure,
yeah,
absolutely. I suppose really my point was that there's a lot of, the internet and the connection has made a lot of us realize the opportunities, but then perhaps some people have proceeded without research or without knowledge or a little bit of investigation that would help them to be the best they can be. So
yes,
a combination of both can be the right thing. And absolutely, it's learnt from practice, isn't it? From being on the ground floor.
yes. And just having a head for embracing the learning spirit, the
Mm,
learning spirit of discerning what is right in front of us. How does this work? It's like PC World and Corey's don't have to tell me that PC World and Corey's, and then it was Dixon's. So there was
yeah.
three of them.
These are
Uh,
British high street companies if you're listening in
yes,
from another country.
yes. Initially, I thought they were different companies until a particular time when they were they didn't have a product in stock, and they told me I could go and pick it up in
The
what
other
I thought in what I thought was their competition.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, ah, see, they didn't
Interesting.
teach me that in uni,
No,
but I like that. Okay.
yeah.
And I have serious success stories off the back of picking things like that up, you
Please
know.
do tell us.
Let's just say I copied it,
Yeah,
the
why not?
strategy, but my brand is also a reflection. So when you search business growth consultant right now on Google, you would see me on first page of Google for
Awesome.
my personal brand, not a generic brand. Okay.
Yeah.
Those brands, the difference between those brands are doing similar things. The difference is there's different market expectations. So a market, and some people respond well to the brand, some
Hmm.
people respond better to an organization. So
Right. Got you.
strategic is
Mm.
just normal to satisfy different markets, different
Yeah.
reasoning.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I understand correctly, the same or very similar services, but talking to different groups or people who are expecting a different presentation of the information, perhaps I can say, would that
In
be
a different language.
in a different language and different
Yes.
language?
So my Gabriel Topman assures them very quickly of the fruits of personal development and the person that's making it happen and is ready to serve you, and then gives them a lot of assurance, very assertive. The energy is very authoritative, but it's also very gentle. It's gentle filters. Business growth action, on the other hand, is more, are you a growth hacker? It starts
Mhm.
with that word. Are you obsessed with growth? Are you a fellow personal development person who just want to belong and just want to tap into the gap between, what can happen if you know what we know and the alternative. So it's two different approach, two different strategies. We can't mix them. It's
No,
like one person cannot speak in the different languages. It has to be separated.
and that would be confusing for the people on one website. Yes, I see. Very interesting point there, and perhaps something that while you're listening, folks, just think about that for a moment, because speak in a language that your customer wants to hear, and if it's a totally different language, think of a way of separating it, differentiating it. Is that a fair mini summary?
Absolutely. Even BBC has BBC Sports,
Yeah.
Sky have Sky Sports. And it doesn't mean that there is no midfielder where everything
Mm.
gets touched on and gets spoken on. It's just the when we talk on the internet, we have to remember there is a stakeholder and there is a messenger
Yeah.
constantly working with us, and that's AI robot. And we have to respect the fact that if we don't have enough focus, it can't represent us well enough. It requires structuring.
Going back a few years. Is that still valid? And is this what we're talking about here? Being very clear what we do and what our message is, so the back office, the robots, whatever we like to call them, can put us in front of the right people.
Absolutely. SEO is still relevant today because if someone says anything to me that I cannot verify instantly,
Yeah.
I would feel stupid if that person ended up being a fraud and I
Yes.
took their word for it just like that. It doesn't mean I don't trust people. It just means I respect myself too
Yeah.
much
Good way of
to,
looking at it.
yeah, to fail to validate stuff.
Mm.
Now, and that's the role of search engines. And AI makes it so easy now. Literally, you don't have to go through the internet. You can literally ask AI about someone that is notable and active long enough, and it should know who they are. It would know what they're saying on their LinkedIn profile. It would know what they're saying about their websites. It knows, it's very intelligent. And he'll just tell you. If one takes that for granted, then they are missing out, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And for those watching, my hesitation face was thinking of people who are saying, and they're fewer now, but saying, "Oh, I'm not never going to use AI." But to my mind, that's just, I'm not going to use a new tool. And through history, new things have been invented back to, the spinning jenny weaving machines. And then people said, oh, I'm never going to use it. But learn it, use it wisely is the way, isn't it?
Newsflash,
Go for
if
it.
you've ever searched anything on Google, you've used AI, you just didn't realize it.
Absolutely. It's nothing scary. It's just getting better and better. I think you've just probably terrified a few people thinking, actually, I should think about this a bit more. But yeah, and it's like anything, it can be used so well. We change from using feathers to write with to pens and then moving on. There are improvements all the time, and sometimes we go back to the old style. And I do want to circle back to those business models because a SWOT analysis is so helpful. And I wonder how many people do actually think, what are my strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats? Because it can tell you so much. And I was really intrigued to see that on your website and delighted, to be honest, because I think we can all pick up and we should, as you said just now, we should do this regularly, shouldn't we? Do a regular check-in. Are we in the right direction
That said, I'm curious to see what strengths you've picked up.
from yours?
Yeah, from me as your friend, as an
Yeah.
asset.
And that's a
What
good question.
strength do you feel I bring into
Yeah.
the table, to the room?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, well, I answer as well. This is a good one for, when you're listening in, watching this, folks, just ask yourself, what are your strengths? Your strength, I think, is we've known each other for a short while now, but very personable, approachable. Now,
Thank
I
you.
know, folks listening, that this is a gentleman who is very successful in what he does, and he's an investor as well. But that hasn't made me feel I can't reach out and contact. So I would say that's a huge strength. Huge strength. And there are many more, but those are listed and obvious.
Thank you very much. Thank you for telling me the strengths that you picked up and remember, which I appreciate. Yeah, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Which one empowers you?
Good
Which
question.
one disempowers you?
Yeah,
What are you doing about it to mitigate the risk of the consequences of being disempowered? Okay.
yeah.
I used to think my weakness was sales. Used to think I'm
Mm.
getting better at selling
Because you
now,
identified it.
but what is selling? Selling is clarity. Selling is assurance. Selling is being agreeable. If someone's selling the wrong thing, then they are being a fraud. People have to face the reality of what they're doing. And
Exactly.
then there's a SWOT to that too. It's not just about you, it's about the strength, weakness, and opportunities surrounding
Mm.
what that person is doing. Not just about us, it's
Good
about what we're
point.
doing.
Yeah,
So
good.
it's like, right, some people think, oh, there's an opportunity here to have a quick win. And then they don't realize they're dealing with a strategic person who goes, right, what's going on here? Am I being victimized? Okay, what do I do about it? Let's help that person realize that favorable outcome is not so favorable because it has these implications. And then go, oh, Gabriel is so smart. He's using his brain again. No, you cornered me. I had to analyze the situation and control the situation. And a situation requires me to analyze that situation and go, right, what's the weakness of this threat? And how do I turn it into a vulnerability for that person so that they can realize that whatever they're doing is not so profitable, is not so favorable. And this is the magic of SWOT. It's not just internal, it's also circumstances. And people don't think deep enough about
Wow.
that factor and those contexts. And that's where a lot of them fail, and that's where a lot of them I or win or fail.
Yeah.
Some of the empowering moves I've made that's leveled me up in life
Yes.
is just analyzing that situation and what could go wrong if I do, what could go right if I do. And I do so much now, depending on which way, that's what being a consultant is and a doctor, you would
Mm.
know the consequences of each route. So if you want to take a strategy, there could be strategy one, strategy two, strategy three. What's the implication? How would this, what would we be missing out on if we go this way? And what would be the benefits? What's the worst thing that can happen in that situation? Most successful people take the least risky way, like
Least
the way
line of
that
resistance.
the worst thing that can happen is they spent a few box and they didn't miss out.
Mm.
And then one has to just compare it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes huge sense. So again, lots of wisdom here, people. If one thing you do after listening to this part of the podcast is just apply that to what you're doing. And as said, not just to the business model, the business you're doing, but the actions that you're taking. And don't forget, everything as always will be in the show notes. So we're going to talk a bit more, but if you want to get to the websites, to Gabriel's websites, just go, Gabriel, sorry. One of the
Okay.
one of the disadvantages of knowing other languages, things are pronounced, names are pronounced different in different cultures. I'll add that in. And that's an important thing, isn't it? To make sure that we're culturally aware, what is going to help our clients. So that's another point. But back to my point, check the show notes below because you can find all the contact points there. Okay, now I wanted to ask you about social media because your LinkedIn is different to other people's LinkedIn, if I may say so. But for someone starting out or developing a new line of business, what social media, if any, would you recommend and how should people go about it? Because there are different views and I'd love to get your view.
Sure. Social media. So I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. I have Facebook account. I just don't spend a lot of time on it.
Snap.
Instagram seems very popular and must say once in a while I do get on it and I like discovering some personal development stuff on it. It's quite nice. I don't communicate with people particularly on it.
Fair enough.
However, on LinkedIn, as you know, you and I speak a lot on LinkedIn.
We do indeed.
Yes, and why LinkedIn? There was a time I took LinkedIn for granted. I just left it alone for some time. So why did I get hooked on it?
Why?
Yeah. When
It's
I took my consultancy brand seriously, I cared more for LinkedIn. When I was caught up in more transport businesses, I cared more for where the most serious customers were, and that was Google search for me. There were other places, but Google search was my strength, so I focused on that. I just ignored most social media. I must say, it might have been a mistake, but it's not because I was also testing other things. One cannot just be doing marketing as an entrepreneur. You do a lot of other things, like from managing like 40 people, contractors, being busy, and then there has to be one focus. So with social media, I would say every social media platform has their purpose. I don't believe in mastering all of them. I use TikToks. I always explore things, not all things, but I explore things that are persistent, try it out, and then I leave them because trying to master all of them to me is just not practical. It's like, no, just focus. Use the one that aligns best with your industry,
yeah.
with where your customers are. To me, that's just wisdom. YouTube has its place. I don't use YouTube because people come from there. I use YouTube because I just like watching YouTube, personal development, music. Most of my music is YouTube. It's not Spotify, it's YouTube. So between YouTube and LinkedIn, those are my two places, but everything has its function, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And I so agree with you. And I've talked about this before with other guests. And the common message is a great one. Don't be everywhere, which is exactly what your advice as well. And it's where in alignment, I love the way you put that. It's where our ideal client is, the people that we can help, whether they're literally a paying client or part of our audience that we're speaking to and helping. LinkedIn is, I'll give LinkedIn a shout out. I agree with you. It's for what I'm doing and what you're doing, it is the place to be. If I was involved with young children's clothes, it would probably be Facebook because, to give a clear example, that's probably more where, respectfully, where a family might be, browsing and looking and YouTube. So it is alignment. And while you were saying all that, I wanted to ask you a sort of related question, which is because a lot of people rush to do a website, and that's great. Hesitation in my voice there. But they forget to drive the traffic, don't they? Because no one's just going to find your website. I don't mean yours personally, I mean in general.
Of course, I get you.
So, advice for that. You've got three websites, so how do you get the traffic there?
Okay.
Need to.
First of all, everything has a purpose.
Such a clear message. Thank you for that one.
If you assign a meaningful purpose to something, you would make better use for it. Now, as a first class award winning e-business person, and that being the foundation of the strength I built on, and I was trained by who was a pioneer of internet marketing, Colorado Internet Marketing Center, his team. I am certainly qualified with the 20 years of experience almost that I've applied to tell you that a website is not just a leaflet, okay? A website, let me tell you what a website can do, okay?
Please do. Yeah, I think and this is going to be so valuable. So grab a pen, people, if you haven't got one already, and take notes. Go for it.
Your website really is your online shop, but it's more than that. Imagine the power to empower both your customers and your team with something that is live. So, say for example, on my website, you could go onto a website and prominently you will see a button that says Meet the Consultant. When you click that button, it goes to a page that allows you to schedule a meeting
I saw
with that
that. Yeah.
consultant. Now, that functional outcome is something in marketing called process, the right process. Okay. You're not writing it on a paper. You instantly, the person that has access to that website can actually book an appointment. Automatically, they get an email. Automatically, if you plan it properly, they get a reminder. Automatically, everyone's informed and everyone knows where they need to be. It integrates with so many other things, integrates with Zoom, integrates with stuff. Now, that's just the basic. It's just the basic. While you're at it, right, you get to assure people. Imagine having to repeat yourself, constantly explaining the same thing. It's fine. But imagine being able to communicate with 1 million people one to one just because you planned your website effectively and then you wrote it effectively, you optimized it effectively, and then the world just responds to you and they find what you put in there relevant. Now, off the back of that, Google will index you, other search engines will index you. You could instantly share that information across all social media and all of them can come back. You could send email blasts. As we're speaking now, I could serve 1,000 people per minute. Which human being can serve 1,000 people in a minute at once?
We can't write fast enough. No, rhetorical question. It's a really good one, isn't it? So, given that that's all in place, and I'm speaking perhaps for the new business startup that's listening in, how do we get people to see our website? Because this is magic once someone's there. And also, what I would say, made a note, make sure everything's working and in order because a lot of people miss things on their website, don't they? There's a button that doesn't lead somewhere people have passed by, but that's probably another question. How do you get them to your website? Is it advertising? Is it clever wording so it's picked up in searches or a mixture?
Strategy first.
Yeah, back to basics.
Remember, we started this conversation
Yeah,
about strategic positioning,
absolutely.
right? Why did that matter? There isn't too many Gabriel top man. in the
No,
market. So you want differentiation focus comes in very useful at that point. Now, the easier it is to pronounce the name, to remember the name, and for it to stand out, the better. But
Top
the
Man
more
certainly
you,
does it, doesn't it?
it helps. And then the fact that people can Google you, just
Mm,
your name, if you can have a unique, clear name and clear branding, I see a lot of people, even consultancies, and they're getting work, actually. It's very strange, will fail in this differentiation thing. It's like, I feel sorry for their clients.
fair comment.
And they fail in this differentiation and they're advising other people, and they are the ones trusted when they have failed the foundation
Mm,
of what they should really understand. If you can get your differentiation right, that gives you an unfair advantage when it comes to marketing, especially when it comes to search marketing. Get your differentiation right. It really matters. It does. It gives you a cost advantage straight away. I've given something away right there.
yeah, no,
Something powerful for those who stayed long enough to hear this part.
yeah,
Cost advantage is no joke.
yeah, huge
It's
one.
no joke.
It's funny you should mention that because yesterday I gave a 30-minute workshop about something different, but I ended up with talking to one of the attendees about just this because she does ladies' hairstyles. Now, what's different, she is differentiated in a way that we did a whole search of Instagram. No one else is doing this because she does ladies' hair for ladies in a ladies only environment with which comfortably and culturally is what a lot of people are looking for, and probably the gentlemen too, but she helps with ladies. And there is no one who's doing that, literally no one. So that differentiation, if I'm getting your point correctly, and correct me if I'm not, is so important because we talk about out everything else that she said she was doing. I said, yeah, you can do that, but let's focus on that differentiation.
So
Um,
when it comes to differentiation, air focus, anyone can copy that.
yes,
So the fact that she's the only one doing that is good, but that's not
not the
enough.
end of it.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
would need to communicate that in order for people to appreciate it, and it sticks. Already, as you were telling me, I was wondering what's her name, and it's in my DNA to instantly Google it.
sure she won't mind me saying her name is Amani.
Amani, I think I might have met Amani before. That name rings a bell.
There'll
So
be
what I
others
would
around.
do is I would type Amani Beauty.
Yeah,
Now, if she doesn't get Amani Beauty on Google, that's a problem because when people needs to remember her,
yeah,
the word Amani, she doesn't need a unique, she could dominate eventually for the word Amani, but it's not necessarily what she needs. Amani ladies,
hair, yeah.
Amani ladies, Amani beauty, Amani beauty location.
Mm,
These are the basic, like practical ways to find her. Now she still needs to be in the right place, talk to the right people, and she still needs to use her website properly so that it's actually worth looking for. What's her website going to actually do when people get there? Does it
yeah.
allow them to book the appointment? Does it allow them to discover where her next appointments would
Mm,
be? Like perhaps she's doing an event, ladies only events in a particular area, like ladies retreat, for example. And people want to follow and catch on, and someone might be talking about it. Oh, I went to treat myself with a ladies only time out beauty, and we came back, we did our thing, our nails, our feet. Oh, look
yeah,
at your hair. And yeah, we all have a similar, like, I don't know, whatever ladies talk about. But after doing all that talk, if they think Armani beauty, Armani events, Armani this, Armani that, and if they can just find her with ease by typing it on any search engine,
exactly.
and she's giving them useful, productive information,
Yeah.
she's doing a good business online.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for, I shall pass on those further insights as well. But it is that differentiation, knowing your avatar, your ideal customer, the people who are going to help, whatever words you use. And you're the top man for this. So we, it's really good to hear. I think when we're listening to podcasts or listening to anyone give help, to have tangible examples as you've been giving us is so helpful because we can instantly see, oh wow, that makes a difference to that business. What am I missing in my business? And again, check the show notes so you can get in touch. But this is so important. And it makes us cry, doesn't it, when we see people who could do so well, but it's just maybe the wrong platform, the wrong moment, the wrong type of market. It's not changing. And not for me to talk so long now, but so many times we've seen that cash cow, that really good product, and everyone can see this will not last forever. This particular product is. I've, do you remember years ago there was the omelette pan that Delia Smith, a TV chef, recommended an omelette pan? And what was so good about this omelette pan was you only need to buy one. It lasted forever. And of course, when everyone bought this omelette pan, who do they sell to? And it's an example I always remember because I'm not saying it shouldn't last forever. That's amazing in our world of too much throwaway. But you've got to think of the next move, haven't you, or how things change and I guess constantly differentiate, would I say? Would we say, or am I overstating it?
I would say productivity is an ongoing thing.
Magical, ongoing thing. Love
Yes,
it.
productivity. It's an ongoing thing. If we're not staying productive, we are putting ourselves in a situation where we could get complacent
Yeah.
and lose our way, lose our focus. I see it happening around the world, actually, at a large scale.
Yeah.
And it's almost like sense doesn't prevail anymore.
Yeah.
So that is the risk
That we take. Yeah.
of being complacent. So why did I use that word? We were talking about what's next. There's
Yeah.
no point in worrying about things running out. It's more about building on
What's
where we are right now.
I love that. And on that note, thank you so much for all those words of wisdom. I'm not going to let you escape yet. If you've got a couple more minutes, is that okay?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Right. So lots of wisdom here. Do listen back, listeners, viewers, because there is a lot to digest here, and that's amazing. And thank you so much for your wisdom and time,
You're welcome.
beyond valuable. So I always ask my guests three or four final questions, fun questions. So imagine you're on that desert island. What? And you can take one item of food with you. So you've got fish swimming around the sea, you've got some berries. I always say this. So, but what's the one item of food you would love to have while you're marooned on this island
Let me take this opportunity since we're talking about desert island, right?
or deserted
To
island? Yes.
to recommend
Yeah.
one of my friends, Go Connections Networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's known as the Desert Diva.
Oh,
Okay. Desert Diva, she actually knows all the fun things to do in the desert. So it's
sounds like I should be
ironic.
asking to come on the next podcast episode.
Why not? Absolutely. She really understands the desert and how to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And she knows all the nice places. So I personally get bored easily. So I can't imagine myself walking non-stop in a desert with nothing to entertain me.
It's a little sort of desert island with a few trees and things.
Oh, yes, I did tell her that the desert part that has the trees and has the lake and has the
Yeah,
waters, I
exactly.
love that. Yeah, I would just constantly swim in that. So what would I take with me?
Food. First thing is food I'm asking about, though. I'm not going to let you
Food.
escape that point. What food would you take?
Which food?
Just one item, like your favorite. What would you miss most?
Snickers.
Snickers. Oh, good brand reference there.
I
Okay.
promise Snickers didn't pay me to advertise this or to say that.
I'm going to say it loud into my
I
podcast.
hope it doesn't melt though. I think it would probably melt, but
if we're not going to get sponsorship from that company, I'm going to say chocolate bar.
Cho- Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
for
don't
the
know
for
why.
having a
It's
bit of
like if I think, oh, I might need energy or might be in a situation. Oh,
okay.
me and sneakers, right? We have
Oh.
like history of me working my socks off very hard, like doing crazy shifts, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes I just think I'll just put one in my mouth and I'll
Okay.
keep going for the day.
We'll go for the sponsorship on that.
It's
Otherwise,
not
I'm going
food
to leave.
though.
I'm going to say
It's not
clearly
healthy.
a chocolate bar. Right. Okay. And then one piece of music. You can, well, don't worry about how you play it, but you can take one piece of music. What would you take?
Music.
It's not an easy one, is it? Because as you said, you put on a lot of music you put on YouTube when you're.
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind is YouTube music. If I, whatever is playing, I just go with the flow.
No, I'm not going to let you get away with that. I want one piece. Oh, listeners, he's trying to wriggle out of this one.
Recently, I've been enjoying Afro beats.
Okay, so we can
Yeah,
narrow
in
it down a bit.
yes, Afro beats in particular. The
Okay.
more bizarre and just the more bizarre it is, the better, because it just makes me like take myself less seriously. I remember one time going to college and I found D12 by Eminem and his
Mhm.
crew. And I was like, D12, okay. And I put it in my, those days we had that CD players.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I put it on, and the first thing I heard was, I don't want to go to school.
Oh, prophetic.
I
Right.
don't want to be a hero. I was like, wow, this is rebellious.
It certainly isn't it.
And it goes, Daddy, no.
So there's the rebel in you. Okay, and my final question is you can have a luxury, which might have been your chocolate bar, but what luxury would you take with you?
Luxury. Mobile phones are luxury.
Yeah, you can choose that. We'll work out how to charge it and everything. So you're going to go for a mobile phone, yeah?
Yes, seriously, long battery life mobile phone.
That sounds like a good one. Okay, thank you again. Thank you so much for taking time today as we record on this very sunny English winter afternoon with the sun streaming through both our Zoom windows where we are and changing the light. So if you're watching the video, you have seen changing light along the way. Everyone, thank you for joining and listening in. And again, once more, let me remind you, show notes below, you'll find all the contact points and they should reach out to you, shouldn't they? The website, everything's there on the website, as you said.
Yes, absolutely. Proactive is important.
Yeah.
I like people who will take proactive measures towards being where they would rather be, and they recognize the threats, the consequences of doing nothing. Because the sooner you're on top of it,
Mm,
the better off. And your future self will thank you. And you will
absolutely.
thank me later for saying that.
Mr. Topman, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Much appreciated.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.